It is 7 o'clock Tuesday, November 11th. Boogie with the Bull, Uncensored. We will have a fantastic intro that Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion did for me. I inadvertently deleted it by mistake, and then I have to get help getting it loaded into Restream. But it is really, really, really fantastic. It's even better than the original one that he did where he misspelled my last name. And I almost left it there because I thought I'd just leave it there. But anyway, with me today is Mr. It's Going to Get Strange. And I don't think it's going to get strange. I think it's gotten strange. And a lot of us don't understand. A lot of us are still reveling in the fact that Donald Trump is the 47th president of the United States. Evidently, AP sometime when I followed AP for my election results, sometime yesterday, AP declared the Republicans won the House. We already knew the Republicans won the Senate. Marco Rubio, a U.S. senator from here in Florida, I guess is what appears to be Trump's pick for Secretary of State. I think either video or an article that actually quoted him as saying this, but everything looks to the fact that he's going to be Trump's Secretary of State. My only question is, I know he's been a Florida senator for a long time. He may be one of the good guys, one of the not so good guys, depending on how you think about Florida Republicans. But my question, Michael, is what does Mr. Rubio have that makes him the right choice with enough experience to move from being a U.S. senator to being Secretary of State?
Anything I say would just be speculation because I don't know the guy in a personal way. I've seen some of his work, but I haven't honestly followed his work. But I would say that him and President Trump must share a lot in common and see a purpose forward into what they are going to create. And with that, I think that's what we have to look forward to seeing. Why all the whys are going to be asked? Many people are going to do that. I did it with Vance. Why did he pick this guy? But then I found out, some things later. So with later, sometimes we get more positivity and understanding why a man may make a choice as he did. But personally, I don't, and it's not rarely that I can't give a really good analogy of an answer, but I think Trump's doing it for us. If Trump's appointing, it's because he knows he has somebody that wants to be on his team to bring America into a new America, which we will do and we will celebrate in 2025.
Good. All right. And then there was, you mentioned a lady earlier today when we were chatting that was up for Kristi Noem, who is governor of South Dakota. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that she is up for something, and because of the dementia, and I didn't write it down, I don't remember.
HLS.
What?
HLS.
HLS. Okay, what is HLS?
Homeland
Security. That's right. Then I asked you, obviously, what experience she has. Then I also said, because I had watched a video this morning that makes South Dakota sound like the new New Hampshire, where everybody was stashing money in beautiful tax-free New Hampshire. I guess even the Swiss banks are stashing money in South Dakota. And I asked you if that was any part of Trump wanting her somewhere in his cabinet where, because obviously he's a billionaire and there are other billionaires, and other billionaires want to have a Swiss bank account in the United States. Well, that's in a safe state, and of course, hopefully a red state.
Yeah, I just feel that's kind of cheesy. What's really going on there and why they're using terminology there is something's going to come in the future. It's just not all the way prepared. And there's a lot of wealthy backing Donald Trump, where things are going to get a lot better. And they already are. We're seeing just in Trump's presence of now being newly elected, how the stock market's changing, and so many other things. And I think Trump wants to make sure he has a good blanket in place, a thriving America, and it's already changing. Just in his grace, when he walks into a room, everything seems to go a different way. But one of the most important things about a couple of these places you're mentioning is they're the best places in America to retire to. Why? Because less taxes. People go to where they're not going to be taxed. People set up business in places where they're not going to be taxed. So when you have betterments that apply to the people, the working man, who is looking for a better way of life in the end, at the end of his life, you're going to go to these places. That's the whole key here that people are missing and jumping over. Now, will something come into play? We don't know the plan until the man lets us know what the plan is. And that's the truth. And that's what I think we should stay focused on. Because even in some of my posts, some of the strongest voices, even in the smaller community of people, are now like, I don't even want to talk about Harris. You know, I just want to, you need to understand, these people are still in power. Even though if they may be being pressured and somehow over the criminal aspects of things that they're involved with and that they now are fearing, that doesn't mean we give up ship. We just don't do that. You don't give up ship 100 miles from shore and decide you're going to freaking swim to shore. No. You're not going to make it. Chances are you'll get eaten up or you're going to drown.
I don't put it past them that they don't have something planned for between now and the inauguration. Whether or not it will be successful, that I can't tell you. You're better hooked into them that they have some kind of plan. I'm not looking at assassination attempts or anything that easily. Will they push it to the Supreme Court, hoping that maybe the Supreme Court looks at it and reverses the vote, if they can, or does whatever they can do? That I don't know. But there's too much calm, I guess I'm sensing, which means that it's got to be a smoke screen. They've got to be up to something. I mean, you sent me that text message of some of the stuff going on there. You made me aware that the National Guard is outside of every agency building. They're not necessarily there for arresting people, but they're there just to kind of, I think, maintain that agencies continue to function between now and the end of their life. Or should I word that differently?
I don't know. I don't know. I send a lot of things to a lot of people. I'm not sure what you're talking about 100%. But yeah, we know that there are things and people that are active. And a presence is sometimes important just to remind people that you are well prepared for their actions. So if that's the case, whether I sent you something or not, I would say just let that light be shed upon you, because that is truly what we're seeing in many ways. There's a presence of something, the element of something that is moving us forward. But that doesn't mean, as I was trying to state and finish on, when I said you don't jump off your ship and try to swim to shore 100 miles before you get somewhere. So if we do things, if they do things that and they are making things happen, then we just got to have that faith. But don't give up your faith yet. Don't give up the ship yet. Stay on board. There's a lot of things you're still exposing to be fun. I mean, look at Mattel toys. That's why I'm taking people in a different direction. I hear what people write to me in mass numbers writing to me. And when I came across the Mattel product with a porn site on the back of the packaging, it's like, look, we still have unfinished work to do. Maybe Washington, the new Washington, doesn't even know that this was out there. So the more we can do for them to recognize, they will be hearing our voice as a shared party to do things and work together with us. We will be like an outside administration to the administration, helping them to stay focused, to make sure we get corrections. and things like that. Same with Kamala Harris, and the failure of her campaign, being 20 million in debt, paying people large numbers and monies and some to try to cure what she felt would be a paper thin close race that never existed. The data on who years and who can vote, there are sheets. So there's data that you can go by that we know. This vaccination may have been part of what killed their whole voting platform, even while they were trying to bring people into America to build it.
We lost Mr. Michael. Oh, hopefully Mr. Michael will come back. Or did we not lose? No, we lost Mr. Michael.
No, listen, it's probably because it's just me. I don't know. Wherever I was saying, what I was saying is, look, when you bill and you have a legal tactic in an election, you have more to worry about. So how do you hide behind them? You create a narrative to make it look like, hey, if we come back strong, maybe we can really check some of these numbers out all across the board, because they don't want to give us the House. They don't want to give us Senate. They don't want us to have anything. But the truth of the matter is, it's just a cover up of another illegal gamble to basically create funds to pay the funds, because she left her campaign management without being paid. She left vendors without being paid. She left locations without being paid, bus companies without being paid, people that she sworn to them that, she had their backs, and having hers was the best thing and the best way forward in America. And she failed on all accounts.
Didn't she raise $1 billion and basically fail to really show what she did with it?
Yeah, and that's going to be investigated. That's already
I can't imagine that the Fair Election Commission, or whatever the hell they call it these days, I can't imagine that they're just going to sit there and go, you raised $1 billion, so we got to look at that and make sure that all of it was legal. But on top of that, you can't tell us what you did with it. Right.
And Trump raised less than half that, and he won in a landslide. So there you have it. Well, it was a way to actually market people to get rich to help her fall. Because look, if you have role models who control the world mainly, who are signing contracts for tennis shoes and basketballs and movies, I mean, you might just get the majority of the public. But no, not this time. The public was well aware. We did our jobs exposing them for the past 4 years, and people seen it. Even though we weren't able to build our own faculties of podcast numbers and viewerships and things like that, every little bit of that puzzle that put a bigger piece of that puzzle together and brought us to a win-win-win, fight scenario. Everything that happened, everything that they tried to do to Trump, everything changed the hearts of America into his corner.
What do you have to say?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you let him chew before he answers?
I didn't
going back to the toy thing. Did you guys see the new girl toy? I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's small. And there's
a tracking device.
What?
The tracking device?
No. There's an interactive button. Like if you would squeeze his hand, it would say something, right?
Ooh.
So where it has the squeeze to make whatever it's supposed to do, it doesn't. Where it is the push button is between the legs. So you got to push the button between the girl's legs to make all kinds of sexual sounds.
Okay.
So there's that. So
Mattel project.
Sound like what?
Sound like
another what project?
Mattel, the toy company.
Mattel. It could be. The other thing too is I just saw you were talking about the elections. I just saw that according to what I think it was CNN showed that Trump has won both the House and the Senate. So he now has control of both. So I'm not saying it's going to be smooth sailing for him because you got two rhinos who are talking about possibly turning Democrat. So I'm not sure what that might play as far as reducing the numbers. But if you lose two of those, that's going to affect something somewhere. And I like the idea. I've been following all the people that Trump's been choosing, okay, for his cabinet, and I'm very pleased to see who he's picking. Especially like the border Cesar. He's going to kick ass. Marco Rubio. He has definitely got his comments made about Hamas and so forth in Israel. So it's going to be an interesting first few days of when Trump takes over. Now tomorrow, Trump's supposed to go in and talk to Biden.
No, he backed out of that, Rand.
What?
He did back out of that. He's made a decision not to go through with that and meet anybody at the White House. It was advised under for protection reasons not to make that move and do it. Now, I don't think that's fake news. I really think that came from everybody's decision that is now part of the team. But you're absolutely correct. That was the plan. Biden, came right out and said, Don, you come up here and we can talk. So you're absolutely right.
Well,
I do know that his wife,
if it's not at the White House.
I do know his wife backed out, and I'm not sure of the reasons, but I'd have to think it would have something to do with the fact that the Biden administration was behind the raid in Mar-a-Lago, and those assholes going through her underwear drawer. So perhaps because she backed out in honor of his wife, he decided to back out as well. But either way, I think it's a smart decision not to go there. And I know I was watching Jerry's show over the weekend, and I think it was Daryl who said that prior to Trump and his people going in there, they had to do a clean sweep of every room, cubicle, closet, toilet, wherever he's going to be or his cabin is going to be, should have a clean sweep, looking for drugs, looking for cameras, microphones, whatever, because the last thing he needs is go in there and, like he had last time, he has shit leaking into the White House like it was a sieve. And I think he learned his lesson. I think he's going to do a lot better this time. And I like the fact that she mentioned here about Mike Huckabee for Israel. He's making some very strong choices here.
Yep. I'd like to see Mike Huckabee in a Trump administration position if he'll take it. I definitely believe that Sarah Huckabee Sanders belongs in there somewhere, but I don't know if she'll give up being governor of Arkansas right now or for a position.
Sorry about that. I just realized I had my other speakers turned on, so I just turned them off.
Okay. Michael?
Gary, how you doing, brother?
Gary.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you. Not happy with Rubio's Secretary of State. Not happy.
No? Well, you know more
Everybody
about him
else
than I
is
do
good.
because you've been here longer than I have.
He's a punk. His biggest claim to fame is he never showed up to work
Okay.
when he was running for president.
As a senator or in anything in his life?
No, as a senator. So I don't know. He's a rhino. Plain and simple.
Okay.
He's a rhino. I like Huckabee. They just they called for what is it? Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. That seems pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Well, the trifecta's in, the hat trick is in. There's a lot of things that were in before they were in, is all I'm going to say. But I don't know, like you, Jerry. Yeah, there's things that I'm just not sure about, and that's why I commented back to Dave the way I did. It's how do we keep peace and prosperity, and yet move forward into this new way forward that we're going to create for America with the new administration. Evidently, there's more secrets and smoke screens behind the scenes than maybe we're aware of, and I can't answer for any of them, of course, not directly. Sometimes I rely on being told. But here, I don't even have an analogy for it. I'm kind of really on your side there, 100%. But again, something Trump must be doing for a reason, whether we agree to disagree even with him. But, here's the deal. As long as we can keep doing our work, keeping them aware of what we're finding and the problems that still are existing, the things that they're not talking about, that's how we're going to have better resolve to all this. Period.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Yeah, my wife was talking about she's pissed too, and I said, well, all I can say is Trump knows more than us. Which lays into what you just said. Maybe he knows something. Obviously, he knows something we don't. I know they both live fairly close to each other. Rubio's
Right.
down in Miami, Trump's in Palm Beach. They probably talk quite a bit. Um,
Maybe he
maybe
was
he just
eyes and
knows
ears
more
for
than we do.
Trump.
Who
Maybe
knows?
somehow he was eyes and ears. I don't. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. It's one of these things where I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because even if I don't like one guy, everybody else seems like they're pretty strong. And so why would he pick somebody for that particular position that's so what I would think weak? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just knows more than me, which, doesn't really take much, but who knows?
Yeah. Do you think
Sometimes-
some of do you think that some of the selections he's making is based on promises kept behind closed doors? Uh, Things like that. If you choose him, we're going to have this, that kind of scenario.
It doesn't seem like it, but then these people have been his advisors and he knows them well now. I mean, a year is a long time to be taking advice from people, whether you take it or not, but at least listening to what they have to say. They've probably become trusting of each other. But in the end, we will see when the administration starts how smoothly it runs. Normally, if somebody resigns out of the blue, it's because they had a choice, resign or get fired. So, they're giving them that break. But in the end, we'll see. I'm going to put my trust in him this time because he's had 4 years to think and plan and put a lot of things in place. Just for the election,
Connive.
the amount of crap that he put in place just for one day is amazing to me. So he seems like he has learned a lot of lessons from his first time. Who did he pick for press secretary? I don't know. Who did he pick for press secretary? Did he pick one yet?
I don't think so. I haven't heard.
Yeah,
The
that can be Alex Jones. God help us.
No, I know.
Pentagon.
I thought that was funny.
The Pentagon leaked to the CNN about people in the Pentagon is going to try and attack Trump once he's in office. I assume they're probably referring to military officers. Now, he can fire them, right, if he finds out they're actually trying to do him in?
Oh, yeah. He's the commander in chief. He can do one of two things. He can fire them, or he can send them to Nome, Alaska, but not the city, the way out freaking suburbs where they live in an igloo for 4 years and make them
There you
quit.
go.
And then they're eating like, seal fat and stuff, he can do. And even I think with that, who knows?
to poke fun at him. He's not going to send anybody that he doesn't like to Nome, Alaska. He's going to send him to Kristi Noem, his Secretary of Homeland Security, supposedly. I'm sorry, Jerry, it froze, and I thought you had
it's me.
finished talking. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. It's fine. It's fine. I'm done.
No,
Go ahead.
I had said it, but like I said, I looked up and I didn't realize that it had froze and that you were probably still talking. I thought that you had stopped. It was my fault.
That yellow. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen when there's a yellow thing that pops up says you lost connection. So I just stopped.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. All right. So then we'll keep moving
Yeah,
on. Daryl, go ahead. I'll stop.
No, go ahead, Dave. It's fine.
Okay. Daryl Rector's watching. Tina Scott's watching. Jane O'Malley is watching. William Grant was the first one to log in that he was watching. Robert Brunson is out there somewhere. We're live on my profile, and we're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, because anybody who sees at Boogie WT Bull, me on X, is being told that we're on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel rather than trying to get X people to come to Facebook and watch us. And with that, we go back to business.
I just want to welcome Tina Scott on the show. She just recently signed up for my services, so she and I will be doing a lot of talking about her family.
Good for you. Good. Yeah, he does a good job,
Good
Tina.
I'm glad
I have a hooker on the Mayflower in my family. You know, I mean, there you go.
I do want to go back to doing working on your tree some more, Jerry. You got some interesting shit, so I'm gonna keep working on your stuff, and every now and then I'll pop into your broadcast.
No, actually,
hey, guess what?
The fact that yeah, really, the fact that you know, I had anybody on the Mayflower, you know, that's kind of cool. I gotta be truthful. It could have been good if
Jerry.
it wasn't
Jerry, the first couple of ships that came to the New World, other than the ones who were already here, like the Native Americans and aliens and so forth, but the people who are actually coming from Europe on the Mayflower and her sister ships, they are the progenitor of basically almost every American citizen in this country.
yeah, her a few more than others.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, you know, it is kind of cool, and you know, then there's what is it, Clint Eastwood, and some king had got his ass kicked, a Jewish king in the 1500s.
Jewish king.
Yeah. But you know, a king nevertheless. You know, you got to tell you, you know, king.
Probably what happened was he went into battle without giving God praise and prayer before he went into battle. Because one thing I said before, you know, God, the Jewish people are God's chosen people.
Right.
So you know, as long as except for Dave, as long as they're praising God and doing what God says, they go into battle, they'll kick ass. If they don't do what God's telling them, then they become slaves for 200 years. And, you know, they had experience with that. So that's probably what happened was he wasn't praying and giving praise to God. He went to combat and got his ass kicked.
So that's what I
Well,
got to
if
do.
you say anything like me, you probably forgot. You probably forgot. So that'll teach him next time.
You have to have Randy go back like 5,700 years to when God created Judaism, and see which one the Glovinskys back then were related to.
But, the stable boy, Dave. You know, because everybody's like wants to believe they're a king or a queen in the past lifetime. Nobody wants to believe they're like the stable boy, or you know, the homeless guy that was really creepy on the corner of you know, the little town and stuff. Nobody ever wants to believe that, but you know.
I had someone who I trusted actually who does past life regressions and looking way far back, and as a professional, you know, has all the degrees and everything involved in doing it. And the only problem I had was she said, "Do you understand that you're male this time, you've been female in other lives?" And I said, okay, I don't really want to believe that, but I understand it. But I was a high priestess to Isis, so that's as far as I got to ever being a queen. So, you know, Sorry, God.
Nice job,
He
Dave.
must have had some.
Nice job. The
Yeah, he must have had
Egyptians
some.
fell.
Must have had some humor.
Yeah, okay. You were a cat, Dave. No, what she didn't want to tell you is you were actually a cat.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, but I got to
Yeah, I
pee in
don't know.
the inside family bathroom in the sandbox.
That past life thing, I don't know about that too much, but I don't know anything about it actually, other than all these Hollywood actresses back in the day used to claim, like, what's her name? She died, but Carrie Fisher, not Carrie Fisher, the other nut job all the
Joe
time.
Rivers.
Anyway, she said she
Joe
was somebody
Rivers?
important. No. But anyway, me
But yeah, we
personally,
all want to think that we're somebody important.
I probably
or
was
somebody
just, like the garbage man on, somewhere, and I'm paying for it now because I like threw away everybody's garbage or something. I don't know, whatever.
You worked in the bilge area.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, it's surprising I had any kings or anything like that. So it's like, because, my lineage is basically blue collar and prisons. Lots of prison warden. My uncle was a prison warden. And stuff like that. Law enforcement, construction. So, like, nobody famous that I know about. Of course, I haven't seen anybody in my family for probably 30, 40 years, so I couldn't tell you.
All right, Michael.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
You just go ahead, do what you're doing. I'm trying to finish something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Michael.
No, don't worry about it.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to talk. When I'm not talking, everybody else should get a chance to talk. And even when I am talking, everybody should get a chance to talk.
I heard it all about past life regression. One thing I can do is I can listen to something and work.
Oh, wow.
I truly can.
Yeah,
so
me
that's, I've been blessed with that weird skill, I guess you can say.
I've gone through 2.5 hours of shows playing solitaire the entire time and listening to every word.
Wow. I can't.
Yeah,
I
which
can't,
tells you how boring my show is.
Yeah. I will start looking
I was listening to your show when I was working on my client stuff yesterday, and Jerry, you mentioned about you've actually started to look for a job and so forth, but no one's hired you so far. And of course, the comment I wanted to make didn't make any sense because the show was already gone. But it could be just that your good looks are keeping you from being hired. They don't want to hire someone more handsome than they are, so they want to have that kind of problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
could
not
be,
it,
you never
Randy,
know.
but okay, thanks.
Hey, that ball. Hey, come on.
We're going to pay you not to come to work.
Put a couple of links to your clips about the old man singing, and you got the job.
Oh God.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
We need one day when Robert Lawless and Minnesota Madman is on the road on his own U.S. tour. We need an old cool guy to open for him, or even be part of the band.
That would be, considering that'd be the boringest concert ever, because I'm not actually singing.
No, I know. Well,
there are actually people making money doing air guitar stuff.
Millie Vanilli or whatever their name is. They didn't sing.
Yeah, Millie Vanilli. Yeah, I forgot about them.
Sing. And they made
family
dollars until people found that out. And wasn't one of the Iverly brothers? Didn't he actually have some kind of speech or mental issue? And they lip synced to studio tracks.
Brothers?
Yeah, it was the Isley Brothers, the Everly Brothers. It was one of those two. I think it might have been the Everly Brothers, but it was two. Yeah, evidently in a documentary about them, they finally admitted that one of them had a problem, and his vocal track in concert was often him just moving his mouth to lip sync. Now, it's also true that in just about every rock band or anything that you can think of that tours, they often have the vocal track going anyway. The acoustics are different in every place that they're at. There's not always time to make sure
in the
it's
end,
going to sound 100% the same everywhere.
Who was it? The Mamas and the Papas. They did. It was like Ed Sullivan or something.
Yeah.
And not the fat one, the skinny girl. They made her lips. They made them lip sync, and she ate a banana through the entire performance. That's what she did. You'd watch her on stage. She was eating a banana because she was pissed that they wouldn't let them sing. And some country guy, I forget who it is now, but I think it was Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
He got up. They told him he had a lip sync, and they wanted to play the music instead of them playing it. So he had the drummer drum with no drumsticks. And so,
well, to be honest
a
with you,
lot
I
of them
was
do that.
totally shocked and dismayed and saddened and in a fetal position for several days when I found out that the Partridge Family don't actually all sing or play instruments.
They don't. The drummer, Jeremy, he doesn't sing, and the little girl who played the youngest daughter, she doesn't either. Susan Day did sing.
Just the older brother, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? David Cassidy.
David Cassidy, yeah. Yeah.
The
He
Mandela
actually had
effect.
a couple of hit bubblegum songs back in the 70s.
Yeah. You catch him every once in a while on one of those whatever happened to these people YouTube videos, David Cassidy, and
he's still singing.
He admits he's having a great life, but he's broke. He lost all that money that he made back then, all the money that he made touring on his own, or went through it. But I don't know.
They all lost their money. Look at Dawn Wells from Gilligan's Island. She had to get a whole GoFundMe going for her.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand about.
Them people didn't get residuals. They didn't get anything back then. They just got their pay, and that was it. Everybody else made millions off that show. All them shows back then, they still making money off them, and nobody gets any residuals.
Yeah.
It's all these damn Hollywood people, the singers, the actors, the comedians, blah blah blah, are all upset about Trump, and they're all saying how they're going to leave the country. They're not going to leave. They're not. They love the money they're making. No. They love their mansions, their limousines, their jets. They're not going to leave.
It's like I said last night. I said that last night on the American Rebellion. Whoopi Goldberg. She in 2015 when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton. If he gets elected, I'm leaving. 2020, she was still here. 2020,
she can't move, Dave.
Still here. What?
She can't move, Dave. They'd have to wheel her out, and once they got to the ocean, she drowned. No plane can take off with her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like I said last night, Robert De Niro, who I usually call Robert the Zero, he's not leaving.
They're none of them.
He's got restaurants all over New York. He's making money. He's not going to leave.
Oh. No, that's the problem. They don't leave. Or at least, we wouldn't mind them so much if they just shut up and do their job. And everybody has a right to say what they think, but the vile crap that comes out of their mouth is ridiculous. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Yeah. I mean, when you go back to like YouTube and you look at the Dean Martin roast, shows.
I mean, hilarious.
the stuff they're hilarious. I mean, Heart Attack Villa. I mean, just laugh my head off, rolling on the ground. It's like, but they can't do that now. I mean, they'll be blacklisted and thrown in prison for making these jokes about Jews and blacks and gays and so forth. But
Don Rickles wouldn't have had a career. Don Rickles would not have had a career.
Right. Back then, Americans knew how to laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other without causing any kind of hardship,
Yep, that's the truth. And even the TV shows back then in like the 70s and stuff, we couldn't, you're not going to have All in the Family. You're possibly Sanford and Son, I guess, because it's a black show. but All in the Family would have been off the air, would have never got on the air. And it was groundbreaking stuff back then, and people laughed. And I knew black guys in high school loved that show. Just like we love Sanford and Son, because it's funny.
Talking about placements in the White House for Trump, I think Elon Musk would make an incredible person to take over Space Command. Can you imagine what he has accomplished so far on his own to give him command of Space Command? Oh my God. I would love it.
Well, I think I like him right where he's at, whittling down the government to nothing. I would like that a lot. We'll see how far they get. But it's, listen, we cannot expect everything to happen in 4 years. It needs to be continued, which is up to us. But it needs to start somewhere. And this hopefully is the place to start. And some of this stuff, they can put a nice sized dent into it, and so forth. Like whittling down the government that we don't need 600,000 employees, or I think it's more actually. It's like 700,000 or something employees in the government. We don't need that. We don't need all the red tape. We don't need all the rules and regulations and all the rest of the garbage. Okay, well, just like fix the damn roads, keep the country safe through the military, and stop sending them to other countries for their safety.
Have you guys heard the shatter that people are saying that Biden should resign, placing her into the presidency?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I've heard that. I don't think
I would tell you
do it for.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous for Biden to step down now, only to make her president for what? A month and a half? Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Plus, she'd come back and say, well, I'm president now, and I got a Democrat Congress. I can do whatever the hell I want. Well, half the Democrat Senate. I can do whatever I want for 30 days. No, screw it. Screw it.
Not only that, Kamala Harris is exactly the person that would accept that and be proud of it. And that's not something that anyone should be proud of, that somebody is stepping down just to make you the first woman president. That's bullshit.
Yeah, right.
But she's exactly the person who would jump all over that just so she can put it on her resume and say that the rest of her life and make $250 bucks. $250,000 to go speak and say the same 4 sentences over and over again.
Well, also,
McDonald's, can I take your order?
Should also get a bigger paycheck and then each month.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, there's definitely a criteria of a difference there. When you win an election by vote, or whether you succeed into a position. We've had many presidents that have become presidents that way, but were not duly elected. There is a law term under law that defines the difference. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what it is, but I know there is one that exists. So anyway, that's just, I thought I'd throw that 2 cents in there.
The minute the word dementia came out, and even Democrats started, Nancy Pelosi and everybody else knew and acknowledged that something was wrong with him, she did have a responsibility. It's called the 25th Amendment. I don't believe she gets a vote because she's vice president, but the 5 cabinet secretaries vote, and the majority of them decide yes or no. And I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, but
I still think the only reason. Go ahead, Jerry.
Because the president appoints the 5 cabinet secretaries, none of them are going to vote for it. They'd rather do what they did. Plus, Nancy Pelosi is an evil bitch. She's now blaming Kamala for losing all the Democrats and losing the House, the Senate, everything. But when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House and in full control of everything, she lost a lot of seats too. So it wasn't her fault then, but now it's somebody else's fault. It's ridiculous what they do.
I hope
Nancy Pelosi is just an evil old hag. She, you know,
I
I
know
wouldn't
that.
be surprised one day somebody found her in the woods dancing around naked, all wrinkled up around a cauldron. I swear to fucking God, that woman is an evil bitch.
I would be more afraid of people breaking into her house in San Francisco again because she kept saying that the security cameras, the mics all over the house, picked up the guy that supposedly broke in and beat up Paul, asking where Nancy is, like he was coming there to hurt Nancy.
Yeah,
So
something tells me though that guy wasn't right in the head by any stretch of the imagination. But
yeah,
something tells me he's in jail for some other reason other than that. He's
yeah,
in jail because Paul's gay or bi or something, and they're trying to
yeah.
take the focus off of that and put the focus on this guy was out to kill everybody. I don't think
Well,
that guy was going
if you were married to her, would you be gay?
No, I would be dead, Randy. I'd jump off one of those tall mountains there in the
Yeah,
California.
they've been married for a long time. Maybe, and she lives in San Francisco, so maybe, maybe she transgendered a long time ago, before it was popular.
No, back
God.
actually when she was very young, she was a beauty queen, and she was kind of good looking. I got to admit. But
Good Lord.
she never stood a chance not to be evil. Her father was bad, the whole family, and then Paul is like this, investor and everything, and conglomerates and all this other crap. He it seemed it's like your everyday, not every day, but your very common marriage of convenience. It would seem. My question is who is Nancy banging? Because I can't picture anyone in this planet that desperate. I really can't.
Shifty shift, maybe, huh? Yeah, I know it's a lot to take in and think about, but her old man was part of definitely the Misfits of Hollywood program. And when you look at what we see surrounding some of that, these mysterious California fires, they all had to do with the Playboy Mansion around Diddy's. I mean, really, it's like, why are these specific homes and mansions all right now burning to the ground? And they are. So think about, maybe there's just something above us all that we are not all getting exactly the way maybe we should be, but it is happening in real time. And he did in fact indulge in some parties, all of Hollywood for years and years and years. I mean, followed this mechanism of Aleister Crowley and so much more. And while Charles Manson sat in prison, said he didn't have to do nothing to get anything done or for him to even react to be a part of it. It was how the other people that would come in and guide him or guide them. It wasn't that he was a leader of a cult, but he was by title, same as Diddy. This is all a premeditated, let's do this again. History repeat itself, and we'll take more people down, and we'll create topics and stories, and look at the names of Jane Mansfield, all these different people that were involved. I mean, I've researched so much of this stuff. I got to tell you, man, I am so burnt out right now from connecting what I can connect and what I think where there are similarities and commonalities and how they all place within each other in the leadership of Washington and every state in America. But as we move forth, we're going to see a lot of great things, but we're all going to see some piss ass shit. Like Yale announced today, they're going to have a course on Beyonce and
What?
racism. Yeah, on racism and all this other shit, and how she overcame it to try to promote a new agenda forward. And I say, once the White House administration learns about this, watch Yale's grants go. They're going to plummet. They're going to plummet, but they are trying things right now to try to give support out to the people who got caught with their pants down, basically, or watch people with their pants down. And that happened. And there's more going to come out on that, I guess, in time before, 120, we're going to see that and a lot more, without a doubt. I do truly believe in that. Yeah, I mean, you got to keep your eyes on everything. You know, the toys, the academics. This war
I
isn't
think
over by a long time,
I
and
think
it
the
saddens me.
academics,
Like,
especially,
yeah,
it
it
seems a
really
lot of the
saddens
crap
me.
is coming from there.
Keith,
It seems that a lot of the shit is coming from the academics, ideas and onward. And of course, brainwashing children from the time they're in preschool till they're, in college and everything. But the academics, to me, everything starts with that. It's, the ideas, they all write books and nobody reads them except a certain few. They talk. Look how many Chinese spies we have that are born in America, American born and raised, white guys, researchers that are working for China. We're finding.
Yeah, well, that
It's
started with
amazing.
the student exchange programs.
Yeah,
They were the early
Yes.
plants.
Yep.
I think any
Yep.
student coming from China should be sent back because they're only here for one reason, and that's not to learn.
I don't have a problem with Chinese kids coming to America to go to a good school. I have a problem with Chinese military coming and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with that, and they should be vetted a lot more, and they're not. And why? Because everybody's getting paid. So if everybody's getting paid, it's status quo. And I'll guarantee you, every major college institution in this country has problems with that. Okay, they do,
Yeah.
not to
Hey, look
mention
at
the just
look.
generalized brainwashing. By the time these kids get to college, the parents are paying an exorbitant amount of money to go to college. I don't care if you're rich or poor. That's a lot of freaking money to go send some kid to college, especially in an Ivy League or something like that, to come back a whacked out. I don't even know what you call them. Some of the ones I've been seeing on X lately, they hurt my head because they're not smart. And they're on there like doing 3-year-old crap, like shaving off their hair or this and that and the other, and it's like, my God. And I'm not saying that's the only problem, academia. I'm just saying there's a shitload of stuff coming out of there that is not good. Not
Yeah,
good.
that's the return of the skinheads. What you're seeing is something that we saw many years ago reoccurring. So they follow in that same pattern of the dots. When we went through the skinheads and how terrible they were, and they were all part of the KKK, et cetera, et cetera. And then we had the good side show up into the picture. We had warriors called the Angels that were walking the streets kicking their asses, So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you may actually see that again. It was happened quietly, but now it may happen on a larger format of where the public will see it.
Well,
Again, takes you into that promised land of sadness, but that's why this war ain't over yet.
yeah, all that shit, like what he is just saying, starts with this little wisp of smoke. And from what it starts as, what you hear it is for, such as, so we can identify each other and know we did the right thing. Oh my God. Okay. Is not how it ends up. It ends up something much more sinister or evil or something. Because one person does it, then there's the copycats and the copycats and the copycats and the copycats. And these kids today, not all of them, but a lot of them, okay, let's say that, are very weak-minded and just go with the crowd so they feel like that they belong. And I got to tell you something. If nothing else, my parents taught me to be me. Never went with the crowd. I never hung out with the crowd. When I was a teenager, a lot of times I would agree with the crowd and stuff until my parents sat me down and explained, this is what you believe, so shut up. Okay. And, as I got older, I remembered those things and they were right. Not at the time they were idiots, but when I got older, they were right. But it's hard. And it's not all of them. It's really not all of them. Some kids go to college, come out more conservative than they were when they went in, and that's fine. But you watch all these videos, and I'm sorry, there's just way too many of them that don't. And the ideas that are put in their head by professors or whoever, throughout their lives, teachers, you name it, this stuff builds and builds, and it starts as something stupid like cutting off your hair. And then it turns into something that we've already, as he said, history repeats itself. And unfortunately, you got to be old to see this. You really do. Because reading it ain't the same as actually seeing it. Although we could learn from reading about it. We don't. We learn from seeing mostly and hearing.
Yep.
And this could very well do exactly what he said. This tiny thing that has just started, the day after the election, can now go into something where, you got people doing bad things. And I got to tell you, I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. Nobody does, but this shit needs to be stamped out. The hate about everything. All right. You can dislike shit. You can even hate shit, but you cannot take it out on people that have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with slavery. I had nothing to do with the Civil War. I had nothing to do with any of that shit. And yet myself and everybody here and so forth, because of the color of our skin, is wrong and bad and so forth, and we all need to die or whatever. But that's not racism. Well, yeah, it is. And I personally don't give a shit about it enough to consider myself down by the man or down by anybody. If I'm down in life, it's because of me. I don't blame anybody else for my shit. But there are just too many people that want to blame everything and everybody else for their, lack of success or whatever. Right? And I just frankly don't shit. I'm not going to go out of my way to go to town and hurt somebody's feelings, but you know what? You pissed me off. I'm not going to hold much back either. And I'm very lucky to live where I do, because very seldom does that happen. And when I lived in South Florida, it happened 5 times a day, just driving around on the roads. Right? It depends on where you live and how much patience you have for stupid. Some people got a lot of patience for it. I don't know about anybody else. I don't.
And success to me, it's something, if you want to succeed, you will. You'll find something, you'll do it. Hopefully something you enjoy doing, and you'll do it, and you'll do it for a long time, and you may only succeed at it for a long time, and then you got to go do something else. Life changes, but
yeah, it's possible. Yeah, you're right.
If you want to be, it's like you said last night. If the homeless people didn't want to be homeless per se, they
could find a way.
Be working, and they would find a way to do it. I mean.
Yeah,
my dad used to hire people in the coffee bars. Well, he used to hire people at the coffee bars that slept at the Y at night because they, it wasn't expensive back then. I don't remember how much it was, but they had a bed. They could get up and shower in the morning, and then they went home. And then after working for a couple of months, he'd take them aside and he'd say, we can help you if you find a place that you can, find a room in a house that you can rent, or find an apartment that you can work in. He'd either work more hours, or he'd provide whatever the deposit money that they needed, and you worked a few more hours extra, and one by one, most of them ended up in management roles and made a lot of money before he finally retired. A long time ago. But,
well, see, those people, that's the thing. A lot of people want the government to get them out of whatever situation. You're talking about homeless, that's fine.
No.
And the is no, but I'm just saying that's a lot of the homeless want the government to do that, but they don't want to do it. You have to want to do it yourself in order for the help that people like Dave's dad gave these people help. Okay, but then he also saw them trying. They wouldn't have lasted in his coffee bar if they were, just losers. Okay, they would have been fired quickly. Okay, but they came to work on time. They did their job. They did better. Blah blah blah. So they were kept on until and they were able to help better themselves. And that's
Right.
that's what many of these that's not getting taught these days. In order for you to be able to do anything in life, you're going to need some kind of help. But most people don't want to help you if you are not helping yourself and working at it and doing the right thing and all that. And like, Randy was a CPA. I'm sure he didn't do that all on his own, but he busted his ass until he became what he became, and it's just that's the way it is. But we're not teaching that.
No.
We're not like when I got sober, I had to want to get sober. And more importantly, I had to accept the help because I'm a very proud person even then. And I didn't want to do it on my own. You can't do anything like anything on your own. You can't even buy a damn
Right.
hamburger at McDonald's without someone else's help because you need them people behind the counter. Okay. So, and somebody told me that in AA one time, and it just really stuck with me the whole rest of this time because, I try to do as much as I can on my own, but sometimes you just need somebody else, and it's that simple. Um, and luckily, there's people like Dave's dad that were out there. And in my life, somebody in AA gave me a car because I didn't have one.
Wow.
They just gave it to me. Okay,
Wow.
it wasn't a great car. It was good for me. It never
No.
broke down. I'll say that. But it wasn't like a Maserati or shit. It was a fucking Hyundai Excel hatchback. I had to put the car on and take it back off every time I got in and out of it. But I was grateful for that. Some guy who I barely knew let me live at his fucking house because I had nowhere to go. Okay, and he insisted on it. Okay, and I stayed there a few months until I rented a room, and then I got an apartment, and then things started to go a lot better.
Yep.
So and I always worked. I always had a job. There'd be maybe a week or a month or in between sometimes, but I always end up getting a job. Now because I'm old, it's a lot harder. But you know what? In the end, you got to help yourself. And I think with this new presidency, which I'm actually taking this as that's his first time in office because he knows what he's doing. He very much seems so at the moment, and so forth. And I think he's going to do a lot of good things, but that don't mean we should all sit back on our ass and just let him do it. We need
No.
to be vigilant about everything. We need to know about everything. We need to actually keep a very sharp eye on JD Vance and exactly what he's doing and what he's saying and make sure that the words and the actions come together. Okay. And then maybe he's the next president to carry on fixing this country because it's going to take a long time. But again, this administration done correctly can put a huge dent in a lot of stuff, which is nice.
I think he's in the best position of anybody coming out of this election as Trump's vice president. He's going to get it. I mean, he's been a senator. He has experience in the Senate, and I'm not discounting that. He will be Trump's right-hand man for the next 4 years, and hopefully, like you just said, that's going to, let me just finish one last thing. I also heard a rumor that some Republicans think he's only going to serve 2 years because Trump said a while back that he thought when he came back in, he's going to where they needed to be, where he was when he left in 2000. he could correct all of that in about 2 years. So some people are thinking that maybe he's going to just
Retire?
2 years, it'll all be done, and he's just gonna come back, and he's gonna stand in front of America, and he's just gonna say, I needed to do everything you asked me to do. JD Vance, Vice President Vance, has done a hell of a job being right there, doing it all with me. He's got my blessings, but yeah, people. He's 78 now, I think, so he'll be 80 in 2 years. Maybe it's going to just click in his brain. Hey, it's just time to just go live at Mar-a-Lago a couple of weeks a month. Go live in New York a couple of weeks a month. Go play golf the rest of the time. Go international. Putin's going to have him over for dinner all the time. All these other countries are going to have him over, but. I think it's quite possible that he does that he just says, I'm proud of what I did. It's really just time for me to step aside and let Vice President Vance do
I don't think that's
You know
going to
what?
happen. I don't think that'll happen.
I just want to say this. You might be on to something, Dave, but I'm on somewhere else right now also, jumping between shows. So, you guys don't need a fourth wheel here. So I'm going to get the hell out of here and go and continue there. I was happy to be a part of it, and thanks for having me on. Brandy, thanks for chewing in my ear. It sounded so lusciously delicious.
Oh, come on. I ate, 6 or 8 French fries or something like that.
Yeah, I still heard it in my ears.
One of these days, I'm going to ask 4 people, me and 3 other people, to plan, if it's possible, what we would have for the ideal on-the-air broadcast dinner. And because Michael is such a good cook, and I have seen pictures of what he has made, and I don't know how everything can get shipped to everybody so it's ready to rock and roll. We'd have to figure all that out. But I want Michael Anthony to cater a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, because I've seen pictures of what he is.
I don't really want my dinners shipped in the mail there, Dave. It's not personal, Michael. I'm sure you're beautiful, but
Well,
it's all good later.
Maybe when Michael comes down to Grace, Florida, with his presence in Orlando, we'll get him in the kitchen and have him do it there. And we'll just have it all delivered to everybody. I don't know.
The guy has a lot of talents. It's weird, but he doesn't look like a guy. He looks like a '60s hippie, but he has a lot of fucking talents, man. He really does.
Yep, he does. I
gotta tell you, people don't know that. He's really a talented guy about a lot of things. I don't know about that, Dave. I think he'll go through 4 years, but we have to trust him while keeping an eye on things, what he's doing, and we need to start looking to the future, because that's our problem. We think 4 years is forever, and before you know it, it's over. And we're just older, and the Democrats have regrouped, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of things that need to be done, especially cleaning up elections. There has to be new federal laws enacted where this shit is not legal.
Yeah.
The shit that they're doing. And that goes for both Republican and Democrat. Elections need to be completely free and fair, with where you're going to find, I guarantee you, that many of these incumbent politicians don't get near the votes they claim to get. Okay, because I don't know anyone who likes Mitch McConnell, yet he's still there. I can't imagine the only people in the state of Kentucky, the only people there are people who love Mitch McConnell. I can't imagine that. That seems insane to me.
Well,
or California, or Nancy Pelosi. I cannot imagine living in San Francisco, watching a homeless guy crap on your front stoop or something, and then turn around and vote for Nancy Pelosi. That seems insane to me.
I was going to say the same thing, but not quite as colorful. But yeah, the people in California, I mean, they keep reelecting the damn Democrats who keep raising their taxes and destroying the cities. And you have the defecation on the sidewalks. You have the $1,000 limit to shoplifting. I'm surprised there are businesses still in California when you have that damn $1,000 crime wave. You know, as long as you don't go above that $1,000 mark, you're okay. We won't throw your ass in jail.
Or your business
Yeah.
insurance probably goes up through the roof because you file a claim on that $1,000 that was stolen. You file a claim on the probably $1,000 glass wall outside your shop that's smashed so people can get in. I mean, to me, I don't understand.
You know, and when you think about it, you know, I'll go into a store in California. I'll get my calculator out. I'll steal up to $1,000. I'll leave. I'll come back the next day, do the exact same thing. Go back the next day, do the exact same thing. I don't know why businesses stay in there. I don't know why people keep voting because, you know, it's nuts. To be honest with you, I don't think they're being elected truthfully. I think that the ballots are being harvested. I think they're being stolen. And that's why the Democrats are stealing the damn illegals.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard Jared, I've heard other people say it that maybe we're not, you know, our votes don't really mean anything. They're just fooling us into thinking that we've had an election.
They don't, Dave.
Elected people.
They don't, Dave.
I know,
if the election is being stolen with fake votes, our votes don't matter. But in a free and fair election, everybody's vote is supposed to matter. That's why we have the Electoral College. My personal belief is we should have the Electoral College for every fucking election, for actual representative state. Even, you know, I don't know how you do it with a city or nothing, but, you know, we should have something like that because it's the same people reelecting, and the big cities and the people behind the politicians are doing the electing. You look at California, whole shitload of red in it, this presidential election, except on the west coast of California, which is all blue. But that's where all the cheating starts. Look at Arizona. No way Carrie Lake should have lost. No way. She shouldn't have lost the governorship. No way. Okay. She was more popular, more everything, and yet she's lost 2 major elections and what I believe is cheating. And you know, and I didn't realize it until Trump lost through that cheating, you know. Well, if they're going to do a presidential election, explain to me, give me the odds, somebody, of Nancy Pelosi staying in office for 40 years and you never see her campaign, you never see any of that. Okay, nothing. And yet she continues to keep winning and winning. And she's not even a Speaker of the House yet. And didn't she get reelected?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. She got reelected in her district seat. But I thought, and I guess it didn't happen, that when Dianne Feinstein passed away, I was saying that I thought Nancy, Representative Pelosi now, was going to talk to her nephew and say, appoint me to finish out Feinstein's term, and that would move her over into the Senate. And then maybe the next time the Democrats got it, she'd get Senate majority there. But she's not going to
run. Didn't Adam Schiff run for that against the baseball guy? What the hell's his name?
Steve Garvey.
For the Dodgers.
Steve Garvey.
Who won? Who won?
I honestly don't know, but from what I'll look it up and I'll have the answer for you tomorrow. I mean, I could probably look it up now.
I'll look it up right now.
But I thought, you know, like I said, that Pelosi would try to get Feinstein's seat in the Senate, but no, she's going to sit as a representative until the Democrats come back with control.
Yeah, he got reelected.
And he got reelected as Speaker of the House because, as far as I'm concerned, the Speaker of the House has more authority, really, than the president because she or he controls. She or he controls the purse strings that the president. You know, president can say, "I want $100,000 to give to Iran."
Hold on.
He's
Adam Schiff is a senator now. Adam Schiff
Oh,
is a
God,
fucking senator.
Oh, he moved to the Senate. Oh, that sucks. Well, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Because we own the Senate,
Says
so
he
he's going
defeated
to get.
Steve Garvey, which probably means that Adam Schiff, who was a relatively powerful guy because he had his head so far up Nancy's ass for so long,
Yeah.
probably cheated also. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't know how any sane person can look at Adam Schiff and say this is a good man and he deserves to be promoted and reelected and so on and so forth. My God, what's wrong with you?
But when Trump's Justice Department investigates all the bogus impeachments, the indictments, and all this and that, I don't care if Adam Schiff is now Senator Adam Schiff, because Senator Adam Schiff is probably going to end up against the wall, facing the wall, because he's too afraid to face the people that are going to pull the triggers. He's going to end up against the wall. Because
do you really think anyone's going to be arrested for treason?
I don't know if anybody. Personally, I don't want anybody, quote unquote, arrested for treason when the fine for treason is you automatically get put to death. Because I personally don't believe that the death penalty doesn't stop anybody from committing the same crime, knowing that they're going to get killed.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I have no problem with them receiving the death penalty.
Yeah,
I don't care if it stops somebody behind them or not. They've done so much damage to this country. They've sold this country out every chance they've got. They've lied, cheated, and stole for their own benefit. I would watch that shit with a bowl of popcorn and a large Pepsi. Well, Coke, because I hate Pepsi. But if Adam Schiff was going to be shot or killed or hung on freaking national TV, and that goes for all of them. It goes for all of them. And here's what I'm going to tell you: none of them are going to get charged with probably next to nothing. If history is any judge, they're all going to be protected.
Speaking of popcorn, it was really sad. I follow some Native American groups, right? And yesterday, I think it was yesterday before, they were having their powwows in this one state, and they're all dressed up in their native garb, and they're dancing wherever the war dance or rain dance, whatever dance they're dancing, right? It was just pretty cool. I like it, but it's sad in the sense that you have that proud race, and they are now, dressing up in the native garb, normal garb, and they're putting on this performance in front of a bunch of white people for maybe a source of income or something like that. It has to me, it would be demeaning. Here I am, honor my forefathers by doing the dance in front of these white people who probably want to kill them. But the one guy who was doing the hosting of the powwow, the announcer, he was having a really good time. He was a Native American. You can tell by his when he spoke it, and he was his accent. He said, "This deserves popcorn. Where's popcorn? Where's the popcorn? Give me a cup of Coke." It's like, dude, popcorn at a powwow? Come on, it was sad.
Well, actually, didn't the Indians invent popcorn or something a long time ago?
I don't know who did.
They might have actually dropped some corn into a fireplace, into
why not?
A campfire, or whatever.
You ever wonder how some stuff gets invented? Like, whoever thought of eating the first tomato or something like that? It's like, and then
yeah, who's the first one to eat that thing?
Yeah, I mean, what was the thought process there? I mean, well, let me take a shot. I'm hungry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Joe, come on, Zach. I got something you want to try. Try this. Okay, Joe just dropped dead. We don't eat that. Do not eat this.
They picked the worst thing, like maybe a tomato was the worst thing back then, and they called the village idiot, or like the Life cereal commercials used to be. Let's give it to Mikey because Mikey hates everything, and Mikey loved it. And,
Hey, Mikey.
Well, I mean,
Hey,
even like
Mikey.
their medicines, all their natural medicines. I mean, somebody get a cut, they throw some tree moss and some other crap in a bag and wet it down and lay it on his arm. And how do they figure that crap out? I mean,
Well,
that
and then,
right there is being in
Oh,
tune with nature and paying attention to what
right.
nature does to nature, and then
And then
putting
the
it on
next day,
humans.
when,
then the next day, someone goes to the town council, says, "I just saw her. Put that on him. He's healed. She's a witch."
when,
Yeah, then they
when
burn 'em. Yeah.
RFK Jr. get
Yeah.
done with the 2 calls that he had recently, one was to the lawyers of all the pharmaceutical companies in the United States. Then the second one was with the CEOs of the top 5. And from what I understand, he laid down how pharmaceutical companies are going to operate in the United States.
Good.
Basically told them
Good.
that I only wish that I could get copies of the calls that I could post so people could listen to them,
Yeah.
because I swear, there would not have been enough popcorn and enough Coke for me to sit and enjoy that meeting. And I probably couldn't have done it because I would have ended up spilling it all over my laptop, laughing so hard as him laying down the law with the pharmaceutical industry. And, he's probably going to clean house, and heads are going to roll with the Health and Human Services Department. And hopefully life is going to get better for Americans.
At least for 4 years.
Yeah,
That's
hopefully.
the thing. If we get rid of, that's the thing. See, what we need, this is why, exactly what he just said, for 4 years. And we need to make sure that more of the rhinos are gone in the midterms and the following election for the president. We need to make sure that we get America First people in there. We need to make sure we got people that are willing to fight for this country. Whether you're a representative or a senator, you have to fight for this country and for the people in it, for their best interests. And we need to put people in like that. And hopefully, I don't know, it'd be great if we could get term limits, but I can't see them voting themselves out of a job. That doesn't seem reasonable.
Well, someone else is going to have to pass it, because I can't see how. Supposedly they wouldn't go into effect until the next term after it's elected, or after it's
bullshit. That should go into place immediately. Nobody grandfathered in, none of that garbage. It should be just, that's it. If you've been in office for 20 years, it's time for you to go. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I mean, people on the left want to say that Trump's as a dictator, blah 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 blah. Look at the people who are in the office for 40 plus years. That's a dictator. Right. A person that can stay in office that long is making people live the way they want them to live by their laws. 40 years is too damn long. That's a dictator.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi took a shot in the video that I was watching today against Bernie Sanders, where she said, I don't think he's even won twice in all the years that he's been in. Myself, he's been in the Senate for like 40 years. Obviously he won.
He might not have. He might have been put in there.
Well, whatever happened, he just did it again. So, I mean, I can't picture, how is anybody in Vermont this stupid? What has the guy ever actually done other than talk?
But what has he done? Look what's happening. But I've said this before on other broadcasts. World War I, World War II, all the European nations, the United States, went to war against totalitarianism and dictatorships and so forth, okay? And we won for the freedom of the people. Here you are, 40, 50 years later, And the European nations, for the most part, and the United States to a small part, which will get corrected soon, is more or less saying, to our enemies, come on, take over, get into the politics, bring your people in, have a dozen kids, per adult, and outnumber us in a short period of time and take over our damn country. And that's what's happening, like in Australia, Canada, England. Their countries being taken over. I mean, I've said I was watching the parade. One thing I say about the English, they know how to put on a damn military parade. Okay, I love their parades, and here they are, praying for the new Lord Mayor, and the guy is Muslim, right? It's like, what the hell,
Yeah.
It just blows my mind.
I don't know. And how does that guy keep getting reelected? Why? Because they've done exactly what Ray just said. They filled up London with like 900 million freaking Muslims, and nobody else has a shot at winning. No matter how good your platform may be, no matter how honest you are, no matter how anything, you're not going to win. And it's the same way in this country, except that they help it along in the end. And they're all doing it. I believe it's Republicans and Democrats. I think the ones that don't do it or aren't part of the club are the ones that don't last long. Term, maybe 2, and then they're gone. They lose an election, they retire, they don't want to do it anymore, whatever. And it's sad.
Minnesota, even in Minnesota, where Ilhan Omar represents, I saw a bunch of videos of Muslim business leaders, men, quietly saying, for Kamala Harris, we are going to vote for President Trump.
Yeah. Well, she's another one, Ilhan Omar. She has done nothing but antagonize. She's an antagonizer, so she is. Otherwise, she's done nothing. AOC has done nothing. AOC has done nothing. None of them. Tlaib, she's done nothing. They are literally a waste. They just liked it on camera and antagonize. And I sincerely believe that these people like them three, nobody likes them, just for that reason. But yet they keep winning. So supposedly.
I don't need.
All right, listen, Dave, I got to go eat. So you have a great evening, and thank you for having me on. And get Nick to come on. Maybe he'll replace me. He knows more. He knows things.
I almost was going to send him an invite, but it's coming up on 8:30, and we got to wrap it up too. And tomorrow night, Nikki will be with you and me, and hopefully Randy and Chuck Cook. I'm not sure if where Chuck will be. He escorted a load from somewhere in Illinois to Iowa. He was hoping to get a load in Iowa, escort a load in Iowa, coming back toward home. I think he got something else. I'm not sure where he is, but hopefully he'll be able to be with us tomorrow. And
all right,
everybody else. I don't know who to invite to this one anyway, but anytime if people are watching and you want to come on, let me know. But Jerry, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. Take yourself, Randy.
Hey, like I said earlier. Oh, okay, you left. I was going to tell him that I'll do a little bit more of my free time on his and find more interest because the fact that I found Clint Eastwood means he's on a list of 200 other famous people. It's just a matter of adding in all the ancestors to get to other famous people. So he has a whole lot more than just Clint Eastwood. But every now and then, if I have some free time, I'll work on it for him. Jump on his show and surprise him.
My biggest fear is that you will go far enough through my family.
And find Moses?
You will go far enough through my family, far enough through your family, and far enough with your cousin's family, and find out that all three of us are related to each other.
Hey, stranger things have happened, Well, it's like my one client, Tom Vernon. He just got engaged, and he had me working on his fiancée stuff, and turns out they're cousins. Not close, but they're like fourth and fifth cousins.
That's actually a storyline on General Hospital right now that a boyfriend and girlfriend found out they were leaning toward probably getting seriously together like a marriage, and they found out that they are actually first cousins.
Wow.
Yeah. So
some states allow it. I know mine doesn't. My parents are second cousins. Yeah.
To me, I guess it's
It's
kind of a weird thing because love is kind of a weird thing. And if you and your first cousin are that committed to each other, then and you understand the risk of what can happen when you contaminate your gene pool with your own genes. You
and nowadays with the way things are, if your first cousins or step brother, step sister, you don't have to get married nowadays. Married,
I can't imagine wanting
married is an old way of getting together, so they don't have to get that marriage certificate. That's something. If you were first cousins, you won't get that certificate. You don't need it if you want to have sex.
Domestic partnerships are sometimes just as, for people that don't want to be married, the domestic partnership. I mean, that's another another storyline on General Hospital too. But
or if you're together with a partner for 7 years in Pennsylvania, you're legally married.
I think in California.
Hey, Barbara.
I think in California, when I lived there, it was 5 years. We had done 5 years, and when we broke up, and I just made it clear to her when she broke up that my limousine business was community property, and if you decided
correct, common law marriage.
If you decided to come back to me for a piece of it, I would have been able to prove to the judge that it was mine before, and you were never a part of it. But divorce is a strange animal anyway, because I have friends who they just divorced because they just weren't right to be married anymore, and they have kids, and kids love mom and kids love dad. They spend an equal amount of time with both of them, or and it works, as opposed to watching these videos on YouTube of the guy who has 27 kids by 19 different mothers and, hasn't seen any of them since the day they were born.
Yeah, I've seen, doing ancestry. I've seen some of my clients, their ancestors. One guy's married twice. He outlived the first wife, but between the two women, he had over 30 children.
It's like I said, Abraham and Clara had, I think, 10 or 11, and they were all boys. Clara had one from a previous, I don't know what that relationship was, but Abraham adopted her and raised her like she was his own. Then there were also rumors because he was a Orthodox Jewish male, and probably he might have had other families around that aren't really acknowledged. But I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, Barbara, I just updated my camera.
I can't imagine having more than one wife because they do this all the time. She does.
Yeah, so Barbara, I just updated to a new HD camera, and even before the new HD camera, I took note with the restream that the quality of the restream is a lot better than Facebook or Yard. But with the HD camera I have now, it's like, holy shit! If I was a teenager and I had acne, it'd be a terrible scene to look at. Look, I gotta get going.
All right, Randy.
So
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. if you want to do
Yep.
it. If you don't, I understand.
Nope. Had past 2 days been phenomenal. I picked up some new clients, so now I'm down. Actually, I still have slots for one, maybe two, possibly people to do the research. Tina Scott came on new. She mentioned that her family is absolutely blown away by what I found so far, so they may join up, get their own thing going. So if that happens, then I am booked. Tina had used some other company, and she said that I found so much more than that other company has done. So, Tina found some Russians for you, Tina. So I gotta get going.
What we'll do tomorrow with you, and I don't know if Chuck will be with us or anyone else. What we'll do tomorrow is we'll do our I don't know, half hour of news bickering back and forth, and then maybe we'll do an infomercial for All Roads.
Thanks, Mickey.
Genealogy.
Yep. So I'm very pleased so far with. I mean, Trump hasn't even been sworn in yet, and there are countries already starting to change their what they've been doing with the Biden administration. You got the terrorists starting to stand down. I love what that one guy said about the new border czar, about how he's going to wipe out the fentanyl, and he's going to wipe out the terrorists who are getting it into our country. I think you're going to see some shit happen the first couple of days, and then it's damn time. So I got to get going.
All right, Randy. We'll do it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
See ya.
All right. Let's see. All right, Randy Rhodes. All roads lead you home. Genealogy. Like he says, his prices are the absolute rock bottom that you will find. I believe it's $250 a month. There usually is some kind of free deal that when you first come on board, if you give him some specific information he'll ask you to get. He can go back, I think, in 15 minutes. He can go back 5 generations, and he'll find you a lot of stuff that will make you want to believe that you need to continue and go on. So good night, Nikki Young. Bon sour to Nikki. And let's see, David Novar watched. Tina Scott watches a lot. And let's see, I know William Grant was the first one to tune in and watch. Jane O'Malley was here for a bit watching. Barbara Hammond is here, and she's here a lot. And Robert Brunson was here, and I think that covers just about all of it. Slowly getting our views back. Right now, still restricted to 3. If I use my Android phone to try to live share while we're on, I can only do 3 at a time, so it takes an hour and a half to get all the shares out that we would like to do. So I encourage anybody who is watching to share it on Facebook wherever you can. And if you follow me on X, I'm at Boogie WT Bull, at Boogie WT Bull. And most of my tweets, if I can fit it in down at the bottom, say Boogie with a Bull. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, because I didn't think I could get X people to come to Facebook. We're going to try to send some people to the YouTube channel to watch and try to grow from there. If you want to take the broadcast anywhere off of Facebook and share it, I prefer you go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and do that, and let them get money off of it being shared all over. Gonna try to get move along and figure out a way to get Street Lock in very quickly, because Marco Rubio from Florida is rumored to be President Trump's Secretary of State. I posted on Street Lock this evening. I wonder if Laura Loomer was asked to by Governor DeSantis take over and finish Rubio's current term in the Senate. If she would, and reached out to Laura to try to see if maybe we could get her onto a Boogie with the Bull broadcast for 15, 20 minutes if she has the time to talk about whether or not she would do that, because she would be an excellent person to stand up and take a Republican seat and keep it a conservative Republican seat and make Florida proud. So on that note, let's see. You have watched Boogie with the Bull Uncensored for November 12th, 2024, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And if you're watching and you want to be on, all you need to do is ask for a link and we'll bring you on. And if you cooperate and get along with me and everybody else on the broadcast, you're welcome to stay. And if you decide you want to continue doing that every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, more than welcome to do that. And if you work out here, we might even try to get you onto the American Rebellion Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday with Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young. I'm there a lot. Jen Woodruff is there a lot. Randy Rhodes is there a lot. Michael Anthony pops in when he can. Other people pop in all the time. So tomorrow night, over here on Facebook, go downstairs to the American Rebellion blogger page, and you can watch it there. I'm not sure if they're still on Wimkin. I believe they will be on Rumble shortly, if they're not already back on Rumble. And go there. Nikki Young typed in Bonsoir, so I have to go over here and type in Bon Sour. And for those of you that don't understand why I always say Bon Sour to Nikki, the first time I saw Nikki type that in, I was watching the American Rebellion, and I was using my touchscreen Android, which helps me with the live chats and some of the sharing, and I mistyped SWA, S-O-I-R, and put in S-O-U-R, so every time I see Nikki say Bon Soir, I always type in Bon Sour. Anyway, tonight's broadcast was really good. I'm glad that Jerry Michaels came. I'm glad that Michael came. I'm glad that Randy came. I was here. I'm glad that everybody in the live chat took part. And like I said, I hope you gave it a thumbs up and you shared it. And if you ever don't like a broadcast, you are more than welcome to put your comments into the live chat or comments on a post and let me know what you didn't like, or message me here on Messenger or message me here on Messenger. And to make sure you're getting the right Dave Goldman, this is my profile picture right now. I posed for this. This is my profile picture, so that you'll know that you are getting the right Dave Goldman. The Dave Goldman that has the Gone Insane sign actually is mine. It was hacked about 5 years ago. Someone I know hacked it. I thought they'd give it back to me because all they did was block me from being able to use it, and never did anything with it. I've asked Facebook so many times to try to help me get it back, and they just don't. So I don't really care. I don't really care. I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm happy being Dave Goldman. I'm happy being Boogie with the Bull. Going through a lot of the groups that I am an admin of, and making decisions as to whether or not I'm going to continue in some and concentrate on others. So don't be alarmed if I'm a admin in your group and I'm not very active in your group as an admin if I ask to step down, because there are some others that I want to focus on growing. Here on Facebook. I also want to spend more time on X as I can. If you're on X, follow Boogie at Boogie WT Bull. I'll type it into the live chat so that you can see it, but it is at Boogie WT capitalized T capital B ULL on X. At Boogie WT Bull on X. That's me. And you can follow me there. I think I currently I follow about 1,600 plus people, and about 1,300 plus people follow me. I follow back just about everybody. You do not have to be a conservative patriot or a Republican or a human being or anything else. You can be anything you want. I am, unfortunately, probably having a little more fun than I should right now. We all know that Rob Reiner did post early on in the Trump reelection, I think going back into 2020. It might have been for 2020. I don't even know if he made it in the 2024 election. I think it was in the 2020 election that if Trump won, he would set himself on fire. I have had a little bit of fun trying to remind people that he said that, hoping that he might come back to me and explain it. I've reached out. I've messaged him through Twitter, trying to ask him if he would come on to a Boogie for one reason and one reason only. I don't really care that he said that's what he would do. It was a stupid thing. If he had said it over here on Facebook, if he said it on a broadcast on Facebook, he would have got away with it. But if he typed it into a live chat over here on Facebook, they probably would have kicked him off of Facebook for it, for inciting violence and everything else that they nail conservatives and patriots for if they said something like that. But my main concern wasn't so much that he said he would do it. It's always been he said he would do it, and how many other people in the United States that are citizens and vote would have actually done had been elected. Okay? There's never anything you can say like that that justifies anything that you can do. Don't want to live in the United States anymore? Hop on a plane and get the hell out of here. Okay? No one's making you stay here. Just leave. Okay? You don't need to tell me every day that you're not going to live in the United States anymore. You're going to leave. Hop on a plane and leave. Matter of fact, get rid of your Facebook account and just get the hell out of here. Because nobody really cares, to be honest with you. And these Facebook false news publishers that are trying to grab real stories when they can, I don't care if Taylor Swift and Beyonce no longer play any red states in the United States. That's okay. But just remember, to get to just about every blue state in the United States, you have to drive through all the red states. Or find a place to park your trucks in blue states, like on the coast, West Coast, that are all connected so that you can drive from blue state to blue state. And maybe on the East Coast, so you can do the same thing, drive from blue state to blue state if there are any. But, other than that, I don't really care to hear that you don't want to be here in the United States of America anymore, playing in blue states. Excuse me, red states. Because our money is the same as the money in the blue states. And people buy tickets to your concerts and buy your crap because they want to buy your crap. Okay? If you don't want to be here in the United States of America, pack your bags and get the hell out. Like everybody said last night on the American Rebellion, I'm going to say it again tonight. When the gravy train stops and the 15 million immigrants that are here, and there's probably a whole lot more, but the 15 million illegal immigrants are here, and the gravy train stops, most of them are going to just figure out a way to get the hell out of here and go someplace else. Or finally sit down with immigration and try to maybe see if they can stay here and become citizens and get jobs and pay taxes and earn money to have a place to live and be an American. I have no problem at all for anybody who wants to come to the United States of America from anywhere, legally enter the United States, declare asylum if that's what it is, but get here and come in legally and do whatever you have to do, working with immigration to become a naturalized U.S. citizen, and you will. As opposed to hop, skipping, and jumping and walking through where there is no fence to keep you here, because if you did that in another country, you would probably end up in jail for a very long time until a stupid president like Biden trades you for any bad prisoners that we have at Gitmo from other countries right now. Okay? Just don't want to hear it anymore. If you don't want to play and make money in red states, then don't. Okay? Not enough red states not enough blue states to keep you entertained. Well, then you both should start a tour, the Leaving America tour, and play everywhere that you can in the United States of America, and then go to wherever you're going to go and don't come back. Okay? It's really time that we take politics out of a lot of things that politics don't need to be in. You know, Dennis DeYoung said it best. It's on one of my favorite YouTube clips of the song Come Sail Away. It was the last song in one of his Dennis DeYoung Music of Sticks concerts. And he opens the song by saying, when you come to Dennis DeYoung and the Music of Sticks, you come to leave all that crap outside. You know, let's try to get back to that point. Let's go to be entertained. Let's go to have fun. Let's go to not be bothered by the crap that's going on outside. It's the same thing when I turn on Boogie with the Bull. This is therapy. My radio jobs were always therapy, because for 8 hours overnight or 4 hours in the middle of the night in college or anywhere else that had me on, when I walked in and I sat down, I turned on the mic, I saw the red light, turned on the camera. I wasn't thinking about all the bad crap the Democrats did to the Republicans and the Republicans did to the Democrats in the 2024 election. I wasn't thinking about any of that. You know, got to try to inform you a little bit on what's going on in the world, because we kind of bear that responsibility to share what's going on in the world with you. Excuse me as I move my head around. Randy does do phenomenal work. I flashed that on the screen. That was from Nikki Young. And Tina Scott is now using Randy and All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. So if you need another testimonial, talk to Tina. And I think Randy said Barbara Ammons has used him. I used him, but Randy and I have a love-hate Oscar Madison, Tony Randall odd couple relationship, and the last time he was doing stuff for me, I got really mad and told him to delete everything that he had. But he does do good work, and he spends 24/7 doing it. So if you are interested, talk to him. He'll do whatever and show them quickly, and then you know, he lives, breathes, eats, sleeps. This is all he does. Okay? It really is. And he's really good at it. He does do a broadcast to promote All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy, and sometimes gives his own, which is good too. So, and then he's also on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern with me and Chuck Cook and right now anybody else who wants to really join us. And Tuesday, Thursday, Randy is on as well. Jen Woodruff will be with us Thursday. Something came up and she couldn't be here with us on Tuesday. And then when we're on, as long as there is a camera slot open for you, we can have 10 people on together. So it's me and 9 others. So if there are less than 10 cameras on your screen, that means that we are open. Ask for the link. I will send you a link. I will bring you on. The ground rules are you respect everybody on the panel that is here when you come, and they will respect you. Say something stupid, embarrass yourself, you will get booted off, and we probably won't allow you to come back on. Okay, we like to have fun, really do. Okay, we like to have fun. Every once in a while on the American Rebellion, something will come out of my mouth. It's so stupid, we all laugh. Sometimes here something will happen, and I'll say something, and I hope everybody gets a laugh. So that's what we try to do. There's some serious crap going on every night that we got to tell you about it, or every morning that we got to tell you about it. But, my dad used to say, don't sweat the little stuff. So stop sweating, get ready. I hope on January 20th, 2025, we all can break bread, have a great meal, salute a new president, a new Congress, and just sit down and dig in to what we need to get done. And maybe we do get it all done and going. And in 2028, when President Trump is done, Vice President Vance is ready to step up and become president, or, you never know. But anyway, it's time to go. My wife wants to go to bed, so I'm going to wrap this up and we're going to go to bed. Thank you for watching.